Boys, I love you guys. Miigwech. Kwe kakina. Bonjour tout le monde. Hello everyone. I love you too. I love all of you. Carney Mitch Kishigun Kinun Edishna Kas Kitaganzi Bidonjaban. My English name is Claudette Commanda, and I am from the community of Kitagan-Zibi. And we use the word Algonquin, but we are Anishinaabe. Miigwech niwichki wedug. Miigwech kibija yego ma nongum. Bijaje koma Anishinaabe ki o mama wenenewag. Bienvenue à tous, bienvenue ici à la territoire.
Welcome to all. Welcome on the unceded territory of the Anishinaabe people.
To this beautiful ancestral homeland of the Algonquin people, but we know that we are in Anishinaabe o Mama Weniniwag. Welcome each and every one of you beautiful people. Welcome. Just feel the breath of the Creator as the wind is surrounding us. To you, the survivors, the elders, your excellencies, Prime Minister Carney, distinguished guests, community members, family, friends, Canadians, it's an honor to be here together as I greet you with my heart of love and kindness. We're here today to honor, to commemorate, to remember, and to give love to all those children who did not make it home, to the children who are now adults and elders who are here with us that made it home from residential schools. To all those of residential school survivors who returned home but are no longer here with us, let us put our heart, our spirit, our mind, and our voice together as one to remember, to show love, and to say thank you to the Creator as we say miigwech gishiminado, kitchimiigwech, miigwech kinakego. Miigwech kokomistipikizis, miigwech mishomiskizis, kitchimiigwech, jojoaki. Niboksendam unje nongom gishiminado. Niboksendam zagieduin, bimadzwin, ashish, mashkawi wizin. And Creator, the Great Spirit, we lift our hearts to you and our voice. We thank you for bringing us here today together as one. As we honor our ancestors and the first ancestors of this land, we honor the ancestors of all Indigenous peoples from coast to coast to coast on this beautiful land of Turtle Island. Creator, we thank you for blessing us with our grandmother, the moon, and our grandfather, the sun, and our mother, the earth. Creator, my prayer for all who are here and the blessings, keep everyone safe, bless the survivors, and let them know those that are in the spirit world and those who are here. We hold them in our heart with love, Zagieduin. We hold them in our heart with kindness. We hold them in our heart with respect. And Creator, we thank you for hearing this prayer. Thank you, Creator. Chimigwej Gishiminado. I also want to acknowledge the Algonquin leadership who is here, our Grand Chief and our chiefs who are here as well, for they too walk with the survivors. They too are survivors. Ladies and gentlemen, Kizagian, I love you all. Take good care. Miigwech. Love you.
Tanse Mr. Wekamek Canada. Utantanan, Duwagumagan Noak, and Snabi Algonquin Nation. Kagisigatos Stick, Utaskiwa, Maga, Eagasimo, Anawa, Isigatil. Earl Wood, the Sigason, Egonia, Beg Ute Puesta Mage Uche, Unotskopone, Negotase Kagi, Gatek, Tapamatun, Aski, Etase, Alberta.
Oui, bonjour, bienvenue aux survivants, aux survivantes des...
Hello, welcome. Welcome to the survivors of residential schools that are here with us, and also to those who are at home.
Et je suis allée à l'école de jour.
And I went to day school at Wowen.
Canada. National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. Thank you for joining us on the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, also known as Orange Shirt Day. This is remembering the children. We say Megwetzai Hai to Elder Claudette Commanda for offering a beautiful prayer for all of us.
Oui, Earl. Et merci de vous joindre à nous, se souvenir des enfants, Journée nationale de la vérité et de la
And
réconciliation.
thank you for joining us.
River Singer.
We started with the Eagle River Singer,
A été fabriqué à la main pour la communauté.
and this bentwood box was handcrafted for the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada by the Coast Salish artist Luke Merston.
Inuit and Métis survivors of residential schools.
It's such an honor to be here today. It's been 10 years since the final report of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission ended its mandate and released their 94 calls to action. But there's still more work to do.
Et nous sommes ici pour commémorer les survivants et survivantes.
We're here today to commemorate survivors and children who never went home.
Leur histoire orale dans leur langue. Et nous allons également...
We have many survivors here who will share their oral histories in their language with you. We are also going to be sharing the stage with some of this country's best performers, and we are being aired on more than 3 dozen TV broadcasters and over 150 radio stations.
This national moment in broadcast history.
Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples coming together to mark the 5th National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. I'd like to welcome our first residential school survivor to the stage. She has an incredibly powerful story. Charlotte Nolin is 73 years old. She is Métis, and she not only survived the Indian Day institution, but also the 60s scoop. She survived the heroin addiction, transphobic violence, and a suicide attempt. She was only 17 years old when she first tried to transition. But it wasn't until she was 65 years old when she completed her transition. What bravery. She is a grandmother, a knowledge keeper, a sweat lodge keeper, a sun dancer, a pipe carrier. Please welcome the irrepressible, beautiful soul, Charlotte Nolin.
Est-ce que tu veux prendre ou...
Danse, bonjour. Anista, depois capscal que escolha. É quoi? Me que sou Mr. Tim Pimtat. É quoi? Charlotte. Kihune Dodam, Red River Settlement, Dochen. Tastawini Yao in the new one is Snabi Otipimiswak. Greetings, my relatives. I'm honored to stand here today and to speak with you and to share some of our story from our family who were affected by the residential schools, the Indian Day schools, the 60 scoop, and violence at the hands of society. Les créateurs, merci pour la journée.
Thank you, Creator, for this day. Thank you for our grandchildren, for youth, for
Merci pour tout
our
nous donner,
elders.
Créateur.
Thank you for all you grant us,
Je vous demande
Creator.
d'être
And
toute notre
I
volonté
ask you
aujourd'hui et demain.
to be with
that was
all
it.
our relatives here today and tomorrow.
Kinanas kumten for the gift of life and the blessings of creation. Mosum pisum, kokum pisum. Kikinawaski. Kinanas kumten, kokum now, mosum now. For the wisdom and guidance you share with us each day. Kinanas kumten, kikinawaski. Maskiki ekwa mitsu. Ekwa mitiknabe. Ekwa kokum mosum nasne. All my relatives, today is the day that we hold dear in our hearts. Today is the day that we remember those that never came home. Today is the day that we honor the elders, the survivors, and we keep them in our prayers. And we ask this beautiful country to work with us in reconciliation. Reconciliation isn't just about the Indigenous people and the government and the churches. It's about every Canadian. We all have to work at this. If we want it to work, we have to put an effort into it. I invite each and every one of you, if you ever come to Manitoba, come to our Sundance. We just completed our third year of Sundance with Two-Spirit people, and we made history when we opened up that Sundance. That the ceremonies are meant for everyone. Holding these little moccasins. We should remember these children and the lives they gave so that we could move forward as a nation. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. From my heart to yours. May your journey be a good one. May Muslim Pisum smile down on you. Kokum Pisum grant you that sacred medicine, Nipi. And may all your relatives hold you in their arms on this day and every day into the future. Kinanas komaten chimigwich. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Charlotte Nolin, d'avoir partagé.
Thank you very much, Charlotte Nolin, for having shared your courageous story with us.
Le système des écoles résidentielles au Canada.
The residential schools in Canada was a network directed by the church and the government to assimilate Indigenous children into Canadian society and no longer speak Indigenous languages. The most effective way of accomplishing this is to withdraw them from the influence of the family, the community, and their culture.
There were over 150,000 First Nation, Métis, and Inuit children who were taken and placed in these institutions where thousands of children suffered from neglect, malnutrition, and abuse.
In addition to residential schools, the Canadian government and churches also relied on the day school system to assimilate Indigenous children. These institutions were built in or near Indigenous communities, which permitted children to live with their parents or guardians and remain in community. Day schools, like residential schools, were places where survivors also experienced various harms and abuses. Both systems and many other colonial systems were created with the aim of erasing Indigenous identities, languages, cultures, and communities.
Madame Reepa Evic Carlton était l'une parmi 10 enfants forcés à entrer à l'école.
Madam Reepa Evic Carlton was one of the children forced to go to the school at Toyakuk and Pangnotin in Nunavut. She was born in the Cumberland Strait in Nunavut and was moved to Pangnotin when she only had 5 years. Well, she was only 5 years old. She said that life was never the same after this forced displacement of her Inuit community. It's something that we still see in some regions of the world, the forced displacement of peoples.
Miss Noauta, our dear sister Reepa, has served her people through various roles in health and family services. She has worked as a housing manager in Panaricting, a community social worker in child protection, and as a family support worker in Ottawa. Reepa also worked at a national organization of Inuit women coordinating activities around substance abuse.
All this helped her build skills to co-found the Mamirsavik Healing Center, the first Inuit-specific trauma and addiction treatment center in southern Canada. Please welcome to the stage Reepa Evic Carlton.
This is a beautiful sight to be looking at everybody from the stage. Unusakut ulumi uvanut pimariuvok nangekatakatilluta ilinera katalausimayunik amma ilanginnik. Iqaumatitilluta taanna ullo nalleusimayok. A National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. It is an honor to speak in front of you today with survivors and their families as we reflect on this day, a National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. My name is Reepa Evic Carlton. I was born in Illungayut, Cumberland Sound, Nunavut. My family was relocated to Pangnotang, Nunavut when I was 5 years old. I attended the Atagayuk Federal Day School for 10 years. The impacts of residential schools and colonization continue to affect our lives today. I have seen how forced relocation and separation from the land has impacted us, and how it created struggles with loss, grief, identity, and wellness. The trauma and intergenerational impacts have strongly impacted me and my family, like it has with many Indigenous families across this country. While I was in Federal Day School in Pangnotang for 10 years, I was not allowed to speak my language or learned the traditional ways of my people. And I witnessed very rough treatment of students by our teachers. There is much more I can share about my experience, but does not have the time right now. I have also witnessed the strength of my people and how we continue to hold on to our culture, language, and values and practices that connect us to who we are as people. We cannot forget our ancestors. We cannot forget our ancestors, elders, who have passed on their knowledge, traditions, and teachings to us. We need to keep our culture strong and keep healing from the negative impacts of colonization has on us as Indigenous people. For our youth, let's keep going, keep learning from your elders and your role models, and be proud of who you are. Never give up. Keep asking questions. Keep pursuing your education. The sky is the limit for you. I believe we all share responsibility in the work of remembering, honoring, and healing and rebuilding. I ask that each one of us continue to listen to survivors, to learn the true history of this country, and to stand together with Indigenous people to create a future built on truth, respect, and reconciliation. On this day, it is important that no survivor be left alone. Everyone who carries these memories of our broken past must have somebody to help them carry the burden. Not one person should be left alone to do this very, very hard work. In our shared strength as Indigenous people and survivors, we must also rise up. It is time to use our voices and shape our future for our children and grandchildren and for those to come. That it is better than what we've had to endure as Indigenous people. Today we are reminded of the sorrows of the past, but we can't lose sight of the hope for the future. The strength and resilience of our ancestors and elders can and will encourage us, inspire us to create a better future full of hope. Huyanamik nalagunahasi, huyanami nangakatawata ilisinnon.
She comes from Kanjiksualujuak in Quebec. She attended Federal Day School in Kuujjuaq and went on to become a trailblazer and a leader for the Inuit and then the rest of Canada. Pagamchi Tema, please welcome Her Excellency the Right Honorable Mary Simon, Governor General of Canada.
Good afternoon. Dungasawitsi ilunasi. Bonjour. What a beautiful sight out here in front of me. A mix of Indigenous people and Canadians being here in remembrance of what happened to our past, but also looking to the future. Survivants des écoles résidentielles.
Survivors of the residential school, Sheffield
Prime Minister, and distinguished guests. First, we are gathered today on the unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people who had cared for this land for thousands of years. Over the past 50 years of my career, I have always dedicated myself to reconciliation. J'ai toujours jeté des ponts.
I always built bridges
Des divisions.
where others saw divisions.
And reconciliation has never just been professional. It has shaped my thoughts. It has stirred my courage and at times my anger. It has fueled my dreams. Tamanna pitcha hadigi jumigia harnet pinasunitu inamu ilinga simangitu uvanut isumagayakanik dokak tisahatta simayok namenak samut ammalu Anan siya kauhaw sa hatta si mayangit at tuya hagnikan ni ikaw matitaw hatta si mayunga. Ilangan nilo hubya sukunay patsunga. Kisyani sibuniriya halang niya tatinig birok sa sunga isumahatta si mayunga. Je continuerai d'avancer sur le chemin de la réconciliation.
I will continue to move forward on the path of reconciliation with the hope for future generations.
Over the past 50 years, Canada has made meaningful progress. Governments have taken steps to address systemic issues and invest in First Nations, Inuit, and Métis communities. In 2010, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission sparked a national awakening as survivors bravely shared their truth about residential schools. Since then, research into missing children and unmarked graves has deepened our understanding of the trauma Indigenous peoples continue to carry. En tant que Gouverneur Général,
as the Governor General, I attended the presentation of historic apologies made by Pope Francis.
I first witnessed the audience, I witnessed the first audience between Indigenous leaders and His Majesty King Charles III just days before his coronation. For me, these moments mark the beginning of renewed relationships grounded in respect and dialogue. I've seen Indigenous presence grow at national ceremonies across Canada. J'ai vu un plus grand soutien du public.
I saw greater support from the public towards reconciliation.
Our classrooms are beginning to embrace inclusive history, and more Indigenous children are learning their cultural practices and ancestral languages with pride. Ce sont des progrès importants.
This is important progress.
But much more work remains.
Pour passer à l'anglais, on a juste à passer dessus, mais pour passer au français, à l'anglais, il faut switcher 2 fois.
Inequities persist, and we share a lifelong responsibility to address them. I have seen Indigenous people striving to heal while still struggling to meet basic needs. Too often, they lack access to adequate trauma-informed mental health support that honors their traditional healing practices. So today, I call on every Canadian to renew their commitment to reconciliation. Aujourd'hui, j'invite toutes les personnes au Canada
I invite all in Canada to renew their commitment to reconciliation.
We have the tools. We have the knowledge. Each of us has a circle of influence. Our schools, workplaces, families, and communities. We can all make a difference. Continuons de nous renseigner.
Let's continue to inform ourselves of the history and culture of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis.
We cannot change the past, but we must remember it so that its atrocities are never repeated. And while the present is ours to shape, we can also build a better future. I see a present and a future where young Indigenous people are embracing Canada without compromising their identity, where they can fully be themselves, pursue the professions they aspire to, and give back to their communities, whether as teachers, doctors, nurses, plumbers, whatever you want to be, even as Governor General.
Rob.
La Canada tire sa force.
Canada draws its strengths from its diversity.
Let's keep building a country where all peoples, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, can truly thrive and face the challenges ahead together. And I think today is a time to remember the past, the present, and the future. And the future is something that we think about with hope. Today is also hopeful. We are hoping that today will make a difference to all of us. So thank you very much. Merci. Nakormik.
Thank you. Which everybody knows.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for those moving words. Nagakpik squel na. Egwa, tawa kami ano ako ke. Ewigi to check egwa. Egi nawasuni check juno. Kauche moneu to check.
Leur musique est basée sur des récits émotionnels et des harmonies vocales séduisantes, vivant sur les
Emotional
numéro 1.
of the people on that Treaty 1 territory. Jameson and Burnstick, Kike, Natty and Jason Bermick, folk music that's quite moving, as well as Jason's Maitries on the slide guitar. Here are Burnstick.
Merci tellement d'être ici. Aujourd'hui, on chante pour tous les enfants qui ne sont jamais rentrés chez eux.
Thank you all for being here. Today we're singing for those who had never made
We remember and honor the children that never made it home. This is for the 250.
Mais le mal ne s'effacera et l'amour je n'oublierai pas. Like a thief in the night, they come and take our love. Maybe I'm born with a curse, or maybe I'm less than a sideways glance. So I must be made of sin. Oh, I must be made of sin. And as a child, I dreamt through each night. Your arms too far to embrace. May the light from your eyes never fade away. I am making, I need you now. Like a thief in the night, they come and take our love. Maybe we're born with a curse, or maybe we're less than a sideways glance. So we must be made of sin. Oh, we must be made of sin. As a child, I dreamt through each night. These walls walls around me would break, and the hands that loved me would find me somehow. I am aching, I need you now. Like a thief in the night, they come and take our love. Maybe they're born with a curse, or maybe they're less than a sideways plan, so they must be made of sin. Oh, they must be made of sin. Oh, they must be made of sin.
Please welcome to the stage the Executive Director of the National Center for Truth and Reconciliation, Stephanie Scott. Stephanie is from Roseau River Anishinaabe First Nation. She will share about the memorial cloth.
It's incredible to see how many people are here and how it's grown over the last few years. So miigwech. Buju, Miskwa Nakwarakwe, Indigenous Wabashishi Dodem. Good afternoon. My name is Stephanie Scott, and I have the honor and the privilege to serve as the Executive Director of the National Center for Truth and Reconciliation. My family is from the Roseau River Anishinaabe First Nation and Treaty 1 territory, and I'm of the Martin clan. I am the daughter of a survivor, and I'm a 60 Scoop survivor. I am grateful to always be welcome to the unceded and unsurrendered lands of the Algonquin people, and to Elder Claudette Commanda miigwech for your prayers, and the Eagle River Singers for the drum. And to all leadership and to all the health supports from across the land, thank you for being here and for always taking care of us. I also want to acknowledge Her Excellency Mary Simon, who has supported us over the years, and welcome Prime Minister Mark Carney. We look forward to further continuing and developing the relationship with you. And miigwech to all the survivors and intergenerational survivors who are with us today. We are here for you. We are also here because of you. Without your strength and courage, your power and persistence, the truth of the residential school system would have never been known. Governments and churches tried to silence you. They tried to deny the terrible truths of abuse and neglect. Then came the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada and Canada's apology to survivors. And these things happened because survivors took a stand and took the federal government and the churches to court. And we know this has been decades of work, and it's been 10 years since the TRC's report, and we say miigwech to all of the commissioners for leading that work. And while there has been progress on the 94 calls to action, it has been slow and it has been uneven. And our dear friend, the late Honorable Murray Sinclair Mazina Gija-Gaban, the chair of the TRC, said, "We have shown you a mountain, and we have shown you a path to the top, and we call on you to do the climbing." And we still have a long climb ahead of us. And even as we're climbing, there are still people out there who want to drag us back down, who want to distort and deny the history of residential schools, and we all know this must stop now. Denialism is hate born out of the same racism that led to residential schools in the first place, and that hate cannot hide behind free speech. Survivors have repeatedly shown us how we must respond, how we must continue to uphold the truth. The National Student Memorial Register was created in ceremony and launched in 2019 under the guidance of survivors and elders in response to calls to action 72 and 73. Today we are sharing the verification of an additional 1,143 children who did not return home. The memorial cloth is a sacred blessed item by elders and carries the names of the many children listed in the National Student Memorial Register. At 60 meters in length, it is a vital, powerful part of our ceremonies to honor these precious lives. Every one of them was loved, and every child mattered. Let us all remember and honor these children as a sacred memorial cloth is lifted. It is our hope that families reclaim their children's names and begin their healing process. Miigwech, merci, thank you.
When they're done, you won't recognize yourself. They cut our hair, they scarred our skin, they tried to break the child within. Yeah, they cut our hair, they scarred our skin. Yeah, they cut our hair, they scarred our skin, they tried to break the child within. Yeah, they cut our hair, they scarred our skin. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Our hearts they ached with pain so hard to bear as we long for parents' loving care. No love was shown, no kindness there, only unearned shame and great tears of fear. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Our hearts they ached with pain so hard to bear as we longed for parents' loving care. No love was shown, no kindness there, only unearned shame and great tears of fear. Only unearned shame and great tears of fear. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. Way ha, way hey ya, way hey ya, hey yo. An open grave reveals a hidden past. Buried truth revealed at last.
Notre prochain invité est devenu le 24e Premier ministre du Canada en tant que chef de notre pays.
Next guest became Canada's 24th Prime Minister. As this country's political leader, he sets the stage for Reconciliation Canada.
And to honor the survivors of the institutions who tried to kill the Indian and the child. Please welcome the Right Honourable Mark Carney.
Miigwech, Charlotte, Reepa, the survivors here, the survivors across the land, Miigwech, thank you. We're gathered here today on the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. Your Excellency, the Governor General, colleagues, esteemed guests. On this day, both solemn and hopeful, allow me to begin by painting a picture that illustrates our journey. At the beginning of my mandate as Prime Minister, I had an Indigenous painting installed outside the Cabinet room behind us in the West Block of Parliament. It's called A Brief History of the Northwest Coast, designed by Luke Parnell. And it depicts a painful part of our shared history through 11 wooden panels with images inspired by the design on the bent wood boxes and feast bowls of the Nisga'a and the Haida. The first few of those panels burst with vibrant colors. And then, with contact, those colors fade until the middle ones become smothered in white paint, a culture literally whitewashed. The final panels begin to resemble the original glory, with image, though marked by what has been endured, that are renewed and resurgent. This painting captures the pain of suppression and assimilation, and the possibility of reconciliation and renewal. That possibility rests on truth. Truth is the foundation of justice. And the truth is, for more than a century, this country ran residential schools. Over 150,000 First Nations, Inuit, and Métis children were taken from their families and their communities, torn from their languages, their cultures, and their identities. Les pensionnats représentent l'architecture d'une politique.
These residential schools represent the architecture of a cancel culture. It's not a distant chapter, but a lasting
residential
truth.
Schools are a truth that survivors have carried with them when others would not. A truth recounted more than 6,500 times before the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, so we could no longer say that we did not know. On this National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, we honor survivors and the children who never returned home. We reflect on the devastating legacy of the residential school system. And we, as a government and as a people, we match remembrance with responsibility. La responsabilité de faire progresser.
The responsibility of progressing in reconciliation. The responsibility of creating the conditions for renewal and
Canada's new
uplifting.
Government is moving forward on the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's calls for action. We're advancing the calls for justice from the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. And we are implementing the United Nations Declarations on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples Act in partnership with Indigenous peoples. I know we have a long way to go, but we are building together in health, in education, in economic opportunity, in housing, upholding Indigenous rights and empowering Indigenous communities with security and prosperity. Le nouveau gouvernement du Canada sera
Canada's new government will also be a partner
en respectant
by respecting self-determination, recognizing the fact that partnerships start with a shared understanding and by making equity and Indigenous participation a priority in the building up of our country.
Because, well, it's vital that we build. It's more important. It is vital how we build. With Indigenous leadership, Indigenous prosperity, Indigenous opportunity. These must be foundational from the start. We pledge to build a future where survivors are honored with remembrance, with justice, and with a stronger, fairer Canada. Un Canada rendu plus fort par
a Canada made stronger by the resilience of its Indigenous communities.
Reconciliation, as the Governor General, Her Excellency, reminded us, reconciliation is a generational task that must be lived and practiced every day by every Canadian. And it's that point. That's why I began with the painting. That's why the pain of the repression and the possibility of renewal are the last images that I, as Prime Minister, and my ministers see before we enter the Cabinet room to take some of the most important decisions in this country. It's there so we remember what came before us. And so we are seized with the task ahead of us. We will not fail you. Merci beaucoup et vive le Canada.
Thank you very much. Long live Canada.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Premier ministre Carney.
Thank you, Prime Minister Carney.
Le Djinigasi establish et un Anishinaabe, la Première Nation Abitibi-Winnie au Québec, par couramment le français.
Our next guest speaks three languages, French, English, and his traditional Anishinaabe language. He was raised on the banks of the Atacama River and spoke his mother tongue until the age of 6 years. We were sent off to a residential school and stuck there for 10 years.
Community and the Grand Chief of the Algonquin Council of Western Quebec. His name, Uwiwun Ujinagazi, represents him as a storyteller for his nation. Am tawagamiano, pagam chiche mat, please welcome Ujinagazi Kiss the Bish.
Kaya kinagada siya kumata siya. Ngitsuminandane bindahan mo ano mata siya. Shit. It's a meko na mai kuna kadiga biye good well. Adiga biye saya ga shit. Das bun getta shi ke iknoma diga me. Kijiyo me tukushi mo. Nigash ke to kijiyo me tukushi mo na piska saga ma. Mata siya.
I spent 10 years in a residential school, during which time I learned French, my second language. When I went there, I didn't know who Richard Gusta was. I only found out 1 year later that that was my name, the name that I had to bear for the rest of my life. I accepted it. But with considerable difficulty, because I couldn't come to terms with who I was. It was a question of identity. I undertook the measures to find my identity. Today we celebrate the children who died and who never returned home from these schools. We also celebrate the memory of these children. And I would like that today we also remember that there are still survivors alive, but who never went home.
When I left the residential school, my name was Richard Gustavish. I didn't know who is that guy. Some people in my life, they call me a crazy guy. But I had fun with that name. But also, I was serious about getting back my identity, my language, my culture, the way I do things, in the Anishinaabe way. Abitibi way. That's where I'm coming from. We don't talk much about the territory when we're trying to bring back the identity of people. It is most important to talk about the territory, because that territory teaches us the things that we know, the things that we learn. Like the river here, Ottawa River, is born right in the heart of the Anishinaabe territory. That is the longest river in Quebec, the longest one. There's 9 dams on that river, 9. At the beginning of this month, we were doing the Anishinaabe people, we gathered about their culture, about their language in Temiskaming First Nation. We did something great at that time. That was the first time in 100 years that someone made a birch canoe and put it on that river. 100 years. These kind of events make me so proud, you know, a reason to live, a reason to exercise my rights. So we have to pass it on to the next generations, my kids. And one of the important things that we should do and we must do is to get back our Anishinaabe name, original name. It's a small thing, but it's really the first step to get back your identity. My name is Ijenaguzi. Ijenaguzi. Most people that I tell them my name, they have a hard time to pronounce it the right way. It is like when I started to learn the French words. People were laughing at me. Now I'm laughing at them when they try to say my name. We have to remember that the kids that didn't make it home, we have to remember them. And this is why today I have to take this off and I will give it to my grandson to remember. And from now on, I want to carry this shirt. I bought it in New Mexico. But it is one of the identity that I carry with me. So my name is Ijenaguzi. Ijenaguzi. Yeah, we have to repeat it every time, every day. I look to the mirror myself and I find myself so beautiful. I ask to the people that they are in authority in this country, that they are still survivors, that they lost their name when they get to residential school, but they are still alive, like me. And I want to go home. I want to go home. People call me Ijanaguzi at my place, but Ijanaguzi travels. I travel all over the world, but still my name is Ijanaguzi. So please, make it do it. Make it happen. Miigwech.
Notre prochain artiste a travaillé fort.
Our next artist worked very hard throughout their career, extending over several decades. He was the leader of a few groups and found success when he decided to go solo. Julian Taylor is an Afro-Indigenous musician with Mohawk roots. He's been nominated to several Juno Awards, as well as a nominee to the Polaris Music Prize. If you've never heard his music, I think you'll really love him. Here is Julian Taylor.
This is a song about strength, resilience, perseverance, and all my relations. Somehow, everyone eventually dreams someday. This is Ganasoha, Seeds. Now here you are, you're in full flower. You're flexible in all your power. You got all the sunlight and the air that you need. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Now there you stand hour after hour, strong as an oak, tall as a tower. The storm keeps raging, but you never pay no heed. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Somehow, everything eventually dreams someday. Somehow, everyone eventually dreams someday. Now see you shining strong and clear. No one can stop a good idea, nobody like you. There's nobody like you. I was a flower, I was an oak. I was provoked, and when I awoke, I started grazing for all the things that I need. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Somehow, everything eventually dreams someday. Somehow, everyone eventually dreams someday. They knocked you down, erased your name. You stood your ground and wouldn't change. You swept your place now, standing alongside the trees. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. You are a star and you are hope. Smoke signals from the air evoke that from the darkest depths that our hearts can be freed. They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Sing it! They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds. Somehow, everything eventually dreams someday. Somehow, everyone eventually dreams someday. Somehow, everything eventually dreams someday. Somehow. dreams someday. Thank you very much, Naogoa. Gene Diabo, Barry Diabo.
Qua Julian Taylor, pero pagamchicha mo atan. Umaga kitutsage. Maski iwon. Kinanaskom to now, kinatawis ko now, egwa. Kitupin ko na, no? Egwa, mistahe, kiwichi ko now. The music of our artists is medicine. It raises us up while healing our hearts. Music helps to share the truth of our stories, and it has the power to build bridges. Don't you agree, Melissa?
Oh, I do. It is our artists who will tell our stories of our survivors and of our leaders and our history. Lucien Wabananik est avec nous pour partager son histoire. Il a servi en tant que chef du Conseil de la Nation.
Lucien Wabanak is here to share his story. He has served as chief of the Lac-Simon Anishinaabe Nation Council and as Grand Chief of the Anishinaabe Nation Tribal Council. Lucien attended the Saint-Marc de Fuguery Residential Institute at 12 years old. Like thousands of other children, Lucien suffered difficult experiences and lasting intergenerational impact. Today, he advocates for community healing while advancing issues on land rights, poverty, and internalized colonialism for the Algonquin people. Let's welcome to the stage Lucien Wabananik.
I was saying, are you feeling good? We better be feeling good today. You know, it's a beautiful day. We have a beautiful audience today. I remember when I went back in my first day at the boarding school in Saint-Marc de Fuguery. I didn't have no shoes at that time. I wore one of those moccasins in front of us here. I didn't speak a word of French. Not a word in English, not a word. And you know what? When I cross the river over there tomorrow, I will be speaking French. And this side of the river, I'll be speaking in English to you today. But you know, after hearing those special invitees, the people who spoke just before me, you know, they give respect. Respect to those children who never came home. I was almost one of them, like many of the elders are today. They are here, but many of them didn't make it here today. So I give them my respect. I give all of you our respect, and I welcome you on this unceded territory, on Anishinaabe unceded territory. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. All of you distinguished guests, thank you for being here to listen to our words and not to forget. We are First Nation. We are the true owners of this land. And we are ready as First Nations governments, nations, and peoples to work with governments who are willing in good faith to work with us for the betterment of our nations and peoples, for the betterment of our future. The society as we know it today needs to learn more about our history, our stories. The trauma that we've lived, that I've lived, is intergenerational. It's going to be a long time to heal. And we will need Canadians to support us to go through our journey. Because this journey, we're in it together. We are together in this journey. I want to thank all the people who are here, who made it here. Je vais terminer en français. Si on regarde dans
I would conclude in French. If we were to look towards the east, on the shores of the river, there are difficult issues with the current government that does not recognize systemic racism, that doesn't recognize the indigenous people of Quebec and Labrador, doesn't recognize our territories in our nation, because in Quebec, our territories are unceded as well. It belongs to our people. It belongs to our nations.
Ceci doit toujours être un rappel à tous les gouvernements.
This is something we have to remind all governments throughout the country. And I will call on all the governments to uphold the UN declarations.
She was one of the first Indigenous artists to find mainstream success. Born in Churchill, Manitoba, and raised in Arviat, NWT, Susan Aglukart's music has inspired us. It has made us feel seen. Her legacy will carry on through her music and lyrics. Please welcome Pagamchichema, Susan Aglukart.
It is a pleasure to be here with you today, to honor, to hold, and to remember. We stand with you, survivors, for your strength and your courage, and today we honor, and we celebrate, and we remember. Koyan namig.
He ran a
your people, the nation's survivors. Hinana ho ho hine, hinana ho ho hine, India. Hinana ho ho hine, India. Hinana ho ho hine, hinana ho ho hine, India. Hinana ho ho hine, India. Hinana ho ho hine, hinana ho ho hine, India. Hinana ho ho hine, India. Hinana ho ho hine, hinana ho ho hine, India. Hinana ho ho hine, India. Hinana ho ho hine, hinana ho ho hine, India. Hinana ho ho hine, India. Thank you. Button up.
Merci beaucoup pour cette magnifique prestation, Suzanne Agluka.
Thank you very much, Suzanne Agluka. What a moving day. September 30th, the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, is always a powerful day with moments that move me so much.
Orange shirt and all of the incredible survivors out there. You are why we are here, why we need to remind Parliament Hill that we will continue to take up space and show the generations to come how strong and proud we are as Indigenous people. I hope we have made the survivors proud and that you can return home with your cups full, your heart singing, and your spirits soaring.
Muy conta. It is important to honor the survivors and the little children who never made it home. And to remember they were innocent souls who didn't deserve the treatment they received. But we are strong Indigenous people of Magyano, and we will continue above and thrive. Our next 7 generations are depending on Kakyo, on all of us. Aho.
As we all head towards home with our families and friends, we will hear from the Eagle River Singers as we retire the Eagle staffs. Thanks to our audience, the speakers, and all the performers here in Ottawa for honoring the survivors by taking the time to be here with us today. A chin ka na chiyamit maka tawape kishit ute utawat. Chimenwat chinwat muk ute espish tayek kahikat. Thank you to our audience, the speakers, and all the performers here in Ottawa for honoring the survivors by taking the time to be here with us today.
And to our viewers at home and around Turtle Island and across the waters, remember, on this day, and every day, without truth, we cannot have reconciliation. Sagiso, Sagito, Mamogamato, Kaipumek, Sagitna, Minagakyo, Canada.
Jusqu'à maintenant, tout le monde, merci d'être venu.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
In the 10 years since the TRC came out, Canadians have literally grabbed onto those calls to action. In terms of federal and provincial governments, they still have quite a ways to go.
As Canada marks Truth and Reconciliation Day, Indigenous people say it's still a long road to real reconciliation.
Our government will not leave 700,000 Alberta students and their families without resources.